Did you catch our short about Ben Griffin hyping up the new Maxfli Tour golf balls?
So a really cool thing about Maxfli, they mark every single golf ball with the Tour X CG as a line. The CG stands for center of gravity. So every single golf ball in their facility is spun around until it falls on their center of gravity, and they mark this line there. That'll help promote a more even roll when you're putting on the greens and help me make more putts.
Well, we got him, and you know we're going to put him to the test.
Be the right club today. Yes!
What's going on, guys? G2 here with 3-Putt Bogey. If you are a new viewer, welcome to the channel. If you're one of our subscribers, welcome back. Love to have you. Love comments as you're watching it. Make sure you leave some comments below. If you're new to the channel, just found us, take a look around, watch this video, watch some other videos, see if you like it. If you do, join our community. If not, it's cool. As you're watching this video, YouTube also started this thing called Hype, and what that does is it helps smaller channels like us just get more visibility on top of what we would normally get with our views, which are actually pretty good. It just helps us a little bit more. So if you would like to, I would very much appreciate your hype vote. All you have to do is, if you're watching it like this, just turn the phone, and on right above comments you'll see a little you can scroll over and you can hype this video, and all that does is just help us get a little bit more visibility, which, you know, adds to just the flavor in the comment section, which is what we love. So let's get into the video. It's the Maxfli Tour golf balls. Now, these are the 2023 version. There's a 2025 version that's out. A little bit more expensive than these. These were $29.99 a dozen. You can get them on Amazon. It's honestly, for the golf ball, I think it's a really good deal. The new ones at $39.99, it's still a good deal. But what we want to know is the CG of the golf ball, because there is some information out there, and we've talked about it a lot. Maxfli has decided that to better help you guys, you know, you don't have to soak your balls in Epsom salts. You don't have to use one of the Check Go spinners that we have. They're going to spin the ball for you in-house, and then once that's done, they're going to put that Tour CG line on it for you. So you don't need to worry about it. You can just trust them that it's going to be right. How about no? And we're going to test it, because we talked about this, and I don't want to go into this too much because we've got probably 4 or 5 videos in this. There are 2 kinds of golf balls: a perfectly balanced golf ball and one that is not perfectly balanced. So a perfectly balanced golf ball has a center of gravity, or a center of mass, that is perfectly in the middle of the golf ball, this way, that way, and 3-dimensionally. So that center of mass, the heaviest spot of the golf ball, is perfectly in the center. An imbalanced golf ball, or a not perfectly balanced golf ball, has a center of mass that is not perfectly in the middle. It's just a little bit off. And what that does is it creates a heavy side and a low side of a golf ball. All depends where that is in this 3-dimensional object. That will determine which side is a heavy side and which side is a low side. It may be heavy by a lot. It may be only heavy by a little, if that little spot is just a little bit off, but it's there. I guess in theory you could say nothing is ever perfectly balanced, because atoms are moving and molecules, and they're vibrating, but we'll stay out of quantum physics for a second, and we'll just talk about this. So Maxfli is saying, if you spin a ball, and this is accurate, if you spin a ball at high speed, which is what we use during that Check Go, that ball is going to want to naturally go to its state of equilibrium, where the light side is on the top, the heavy side is on the bottom, and the golf ball is perfectly spinning along those 2 poles, wherever they are in this golf ball. Here, 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 whatever it is. If the golf ball is out of balance, there is a heavy side and there's always going to be a light side. Maxfli says they did that for you. And they did it by spinning them in-house, and then they mark it, and then they stamp the golf ball, because there's honestly no other way you can do that. You can't stamp Maxfli on this and then spin it, because this line would not be where it is. It would be somewhere else, and it could go over the Maxfli line. So that's what they're doing. What does that mean for you? So a golf ball that is lined over its center of gravity is going to roll smoother than a golf ball that is not. You miss a putt a little bit left, you miss a putt a little bit right. It could be the stroke, it could be the grain, it could be the slope, but let's take all of that out and pretend we're putting inside of a vacuum. If that ball is perfectly balanced, it doesn't matter which way this golf ball is lined up. It's going to roll perfect every single time. If it is out of balance, which Maxfli is essentially saying all of their golf balls are out of balance, which is why we're going to give you this line, if you really read between the lines. So they're giving you this line to say, when you putt your golf ball, this line here denotes a heavy side and a low side. And all you have to do is roll it on that, and you will get the best possible roll. They're the first to ever do this. They're really the first to ever admit that their golf balls may be out of balance. It's kind of like, we know we have a problem, and here's the solution. But is it really accurate? And that's what I want to find out. We are going to head over to the bench, and we are going to test the compression of these golf balls, just for data points. We're going to test the weight. On top of that, we are going to do the Epsom salt test. Then we're going to do the gyroscopic test to see where this center of mass is and what is the line you should be putting on. And we're going to find out, is this right? Should you put your trust in this line straight out of the box, straight from the vendor, or should you trust no one? So I'm just going to use one sleeve. If we start to see anomalies, I will go into another sleeve, and we're going to measure these in grams. The average golf ball is 44 grams. When we tested the Amazon golf ball, it was interesting because it came in at 42 grams, which is significantly lighter than the standard. It still falls within USGA compliance. However, it's a lighter golf ball. So we will test this one. Let it level out here. So this is 46 grams. Now all these golf balls are at room temperature. They've been sitting out. They haven't been in a cold car or garage. This one's coming in at 45. Let's go back to this one. 46, okay. 45, 46. So they're probably pretty close to 46. I would think they're probably like, let's see, it just switched. So we'll say it's 45 on the high side, closer to 46, which is already of a standard Pro V1, which is 44 grams. We're, a gram to almost 2 grams heavier than that. Now we'll go to the second easiest and quickest thing, is the compression. Now this AccuTest, yes, this is an old testing method. It is fairly accurate. I want to say it's accurate within plus or minus 2. It has been calibrated. You guys have seen that on the channel before, so it's calibrated. We know what we should be getting. So this golf ball should be coming in at 85 compression. So we'll put it in, and then we will go to our lines, and you can see that pulled it at about 82. Like I said, it's plus or minus 2. And we'll do it again. We're lined up. This one coming in at 85. I'm confident to say that the compression is right at 85. Now the first thing we are going to do here is we are going to test the center of gravity. Now when I do Epsom salts, I like to use gloves, just because it is Epsom salt, it's high salinity, it is a super concentrated solution, and Epsom salts is actually a diuretic, so if you get this on your fingers and you lick your fingers, it's possible you could get the shits. So just word for a little warning there. If you're constipated, drink some of this and you'll be right as rain in about a couple hours. So as listed, the center of gravity is all marked on these golf balls. Center of gravity is nothing more than the balance point of the golf ball, like we just talked about, in relation to where the center of mass is. If a ball is perfectly balanced, the center of mass is exactly in the middle of this golf ball. And in theory, you do not need a line because it's going to roll perfect no matter which way that it's lined up. But if that center of mass is just slightly skewed somewhere in the golf ball, whether it's that way or up or down or diagonally, remember you're dealing in 3 dimensions here. If it's just ever so slightly off, that is going to move the center of gravity so that it won't be perfect. You've now, by moving the center of gravity of the golf ball, the center of mass, you've created a heavy side and a light side. Whereas if it's directly smack in the middle, there is no heavy side, there is no light side, it's perfectly balanced. Now when we put this in the Epsom salts, we should see it float to the lightest side. Now whatever the lightest side is, the inverse is the heaviest side, right? So you draw a line on the heaviest and the lightest, you connect those 2 poles, and that is your center of gravity line. So we'll put them in, spin it around, and we will mark our spot right about there. Okay, now we've got our first one. We're going to put it in upside down, give it a spin. We'll move it around a little bit too for those people who think I like to manipulate the experiments. And we've come to, I would call that just above the A to the right or left of the 1. So right around there. Okay, so we have our 1 dot and we have our other dot over here. So we'll give it a spin, juggle it around, and see where it wants to go to. Does it go to one of our dots or does it go to a new dot? And it is slowly coming back. It's not quite there. I wouldn't qualify that as a significant point, but it does like to, for some reason, go to a certain spot. Yeah, you can see it is favoring this side. So this is definitely the lighter half of the golf ball. And you can see this is why we use gloves. See that salt all over? All you need to do is rub your eyes and you're going to have a not so great day. So that second one was just about here. That's 2 dots here. 1 dot over here, kind of close to it. This golf ball is not balanced. This would be the light side if we were going to use a mark. Right, here's our light side, which would mean that the inverse of this, right, if we rolled this on its axis, that would make this side the heavier side. So if we went and we drew a line, remember the light side and the heavier side, so we know this is the light, we know this is the heavy. It doesn't matter which way, light, heavy. So the spin for this golf ball is anywhere this way, that way, that way, that way. It all works in 180 or 360 degrees around that pole. Where you would not want to have it, we'll just mark it because we know where it is. So based on that test, this is the line that you would want to use for your putts. Not great, right? Because where's Maxfli saying it? Saying it's right here. So here's where I think using the method that they use is incorrect, because we talked about how speed can affect the way the ball reacts if it's out of balance, which this ball clearly is. So we're going to put it in our check go, and you'll see. So if I was using this ball for putting, which is what this thing is supposed to be doing, right? We are on almost a cross pole. This is the putting line. When the ball is going slow, it's going to be more impacted by balance. Because it's slow, gravity is going to be able to take effect quicker on the golf ball. So we can see already this is wrong. But if they use a spin method to determine where this line goes, it's good and it's workable, but not for your putter. So we're going to stick this in the check go. And we are going to use not the top dot, we're going to use this dot to mark where the ball likes to spin when it is going at speed. Ben Griffin said it. They spin it. They spin the golf ball to determine the center of gravity. And here we go. There is the center of gravity at speed. Right there. We're going to do it again. Okay. Pretty close. Here's the first one. Here's the second one. So at speed, this is the way off the tee, off the driver. This is the way that the ball wants to go. I'm going to make these different colors so they're easier to see. So if you're using it as a putter, the green line is your line. See how off this golf ball is? And if you did it, sorry, Maxfli, this is not looking good on test one. If you did it based on where they're telling you, it's here. So, what do you trust on this? Putts this way, driver that way, or Maxfli says it's all good right here? This is a total disaster. We're gonna have to do another one because that was a mess. So I will go through, I'll do another one. I'm gonna speed up the processes here so we don't make this video 7 hours long. Okay, so here is our second one right here. We did the Epsom salt test. This actually came up in 3 different locations, up here, over there, and over there. So all over the place, different spots. So this ball is actually balanced, and I would be confident in saying that. When we did our spin, this is the line that we got. Being that the ball is balanced, it doesn't matter. You can put the line wherever you want. Maxfli put it here, all good. Doesn't matter. So now we've got one disaster, one good one. Now, unfortunately, science predicates I have to do a third one. So we're going to take one out of a different sleeve. So you can see different golf ball. Those are 3. This is a 3. These were 1s. We'll put them in there, spin it around. So using the Epsom salts, we had one high spot or one light area here, one light area here. That's kind of telling me that it is close to being balanced. It may not be perfectly balanced, but it's close. So we're going to do a double test here. We're going to test where the spin center of gravity is, the lightest area of the golf ball. Well, there's our one. Kind of made a pretty cool design. We're going to put it upside down. We're going to put this in here. See if it comes back up to that red spot. Just past the black dot, if you saw that. We are up to speed. We're going to do a quick little dab. So there. Looking good. This one's looking good. It could be balanced, but it also could have just be very ever so slightly off, which would still, in my book, put this as a very, very playable ball. So we're going to do a spin axis here and see. I don't think this ball is quite perfectly balanced. There's our spin axis that it put. You can see it's not in line with theirs. I'll do it again. The ball is going to want to spin where it's going to want to spin. If there is a distinct light and heavy pole here, it is always going to, and you can see how the ball wobbles like that. That's an indicator that the ball is not balanced, because it was trying to find the heavy side and the light side. It's like when your tires are not in balance, they like to chatter. Close, but not super close. We could do this. We'll do it like, I want to do it 2 more times, and you'll see how if it goes cross that, then we know we've got a balanced golf. I think it likes this pole. Oh, hold a minute. We had that came up. That's 4 spin axis tests. So you can see this ball is balanced. I mean, we ruined it. It's not good for anything at this point. But that spin axis wants to go in all different locations. We could have determined that from the dots being all over the place. The only thing that concerned me with the dot test is we never got any dots over here or over here. But this ball is balanced. So of the 3 we tested, we got 2 that were in balance. And we got 1 that was definitely not in balance, and also not even close to that Tour CG line that they put for you. This is very interesting. Okay, wow. I'm gonna have to cut up in another golf ball. I hope you guys can see this. There is a dot in the middle of this golf ball. Right there. It's like a very light pink dot. There, now you can see it. Right there. And it's on both. Here, maybe we can see a little bit on this one. There you go. Oh, you can definitely see it. Right there. It's like a little dot in the middle of there. I don't know if that's a defect or if they're putting something in the golf ball to manipulate the center of gravity, because remember, this golf ball was all out of whack. All right, Maxfli, it's always something. That's why we do this, because you never know. We're going to cut it right down one of our spin axis. I mean, can you guys just appreciate that for a second? Splitting a marker line. Very satisfying. Yeah, it's in here too. There it is, right there. And there it is, much lighter on this one. So there's something going on. I don't know what that is. If it was somewhere different, I would think it's just a defect in the core. But the fact, and you guys can see this, that's intentionally in the middle of the golf ball. From a testing standpoint, these golf balls actually performed pretty well. Yes, 1 out of the 3 was not perfectly balanced, but the other 2 were perfectly balanced, which means that it doesn't matter where Maxfli puts that line on a perfectly balanced golf ball. You put your own line wherever the hell you want it, and it's going to roll fine, whether you're putting or whether you're hitting it off of the tee. Now, the one golf ball we did test, the first one, ironically, was a total disaster. But at the end of the day, I mean, really, for recreational golfers, does it matter? Probably not. For a tour level person, sure. Can it improve your putting? Yes. But again, there's so many variables into that little missed putt. We were assuming that we are flawless in our golf and hit the center of the club face perfectly square every single time, roll the perfect putt every single time with no deviation. And Lord knows that is not right. So a little wobble here, a little wobble there, you can't put that on a golf ball. But I would say from a standpoint of what we tested, you can absolutely use a center of gravity line on there. Yes, there's going to be a couple that are a little bit off, but again, it's not a big deal. Get over yourselves. Just draw your line. Use the line. Don't use a line. At the end of the day, it's your money. It's your golf. It's your fun. You have it the way you want. And until next time, make sure that you also swing as hard as you can, just in case you hit the ball. G2 out.